So there's news coming out of Louisville, Kentucky. Now that's the same city, where our sister Breonna Taylor was murdered by the race soldiers. So there's some data come out about black people living in Louisville, and that they have been, of course, targeted, more than any other group for no-knock search warrants by the Louisville Metro Police Department. So it's an analysis of the Louisville Police Department show that in the past 2 years, 82% of the no-knock warrants have been served to black residents. As in addition, 68% of those warrants were executed in a predominantly black West End neighborhood. In comparison, only 23.5% of Jefferson County population is black. So they're only 23% of the population, but you do 82% of your search warrants on black people. And you make sure you're doing it in the black neighborhoods. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all done by design. That is not happenstance. That's not that black people are these super criminals. No, they do this mess. They target black people. And this whole system is set up to try to sabotage and hurt, harm, and kill black people. And that's all the race soldiers are knowingly doing. If you do the research on actual crime, they're not out there fighting crime like that, because crime isn't that rampant in the United States. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of times the police is not really doing much of nothing. They're not out there actively searching for criminals like that. It's rare. Some of them don't even shoot their gun. Now, they said the Louisville Metro City Council had banned no-knock warrants in June after, Breonna Taylor was killed in that, particular raid. Now, it says that the data also, found black people were overrepresented in announced searches too. Not just no-knocks, but announced. They say they examined 356 warrants and they found 243 identified the race of the suspects. So they say white and black suspects accounting for 48% of those search warrants. So for black people to even have 48% and you only, you definitely only 23%. So white people overrepresenting population, but yet they're not overrepresented in search warrants. Like I said, it's all done by design. Now, according to police, of course, they say they not targeting people by race or whatever. I mean, like I said, the data is not going to lie. It's not lying. Nobody can make this up. In every category, black people are going to overrepresent when it comes to the criminal justice system. It's designed that way to target black people. We still have the 13th Amendment where slavery is still legal. It's on the books. It's still legal. Now, I know that you have two Democrat congressmen that had presented a bill to get rid of the slavery clause out of the 13th Amendment that says that you can be a slave in prison. That's still on the books. America has never banned slavery. It looks like they banned it, but they have not banned it, okay? Now, we know that there were two states that had completely banned the slavery clause off of their books, but this is the nation that, we live in, unfortunately, and that's why I always tell people have other options, and I'm not talking to people who don't want to have another option. I'm talking to those who want to, but there's plenty of you that do. So they were saying that the mayor, he supports, the ending of the no-knock warrants. They're talking about the danger no-knock warrants pose to civilians and police officers. Of course, we had a story right here in Houston. They did a no-knock warrant here on two Mzungus, and they start shooting at them, and the police got killed. So that's what they talk about. It's danger on both sides on that. They say the mayor also declared racism as a public health issue and announced he signed executive order for the city's advancing racial equity plan. Now, advancing racial equity has been a major focus of the Metro government, he said, for the past 10 years. He said it's clear that we need to move faster and invest more resources. Let me tell you something. The only way you can stop racism in America is you must criminalize it. I'm going to repeat that again. The only way you can get rid of the race problem in America unless you criminalize it. If you do not criminalize racism, it's going to continue. Now, you criminalize racism, That means that anybody that's doing something that is completely, anti-black should have some sort of fine all the way up to jail time. Period. That's where you stop that. All this disproportionately, targeting of black people. If you criminalize racism or you criminalize, racial profiling, because it's not, we know that's a term, but it's not criminalized. So these people, it's not going to stop if it's not criminalized. That's the only way you're going to stop a lot of that. So if you say that racism should be still legal, racial profiling should still be legal, then this is going to continue to be a problem. We just have to admit that. But these people want the freedom to hate. That's just that's part of what they like to do. I will say, and black people's always being the target. Like I said, we wouldn't be a target if we would be on code, if we really do the little bit, make some sacrifices, for our group. We wouldn't be victimized like that. I'm telling you, we wouldn't. But like I said before in another previous video, the only reason we still dealing with this issue because we have allowed it to go on for so long. We have times where we take a stand, but usually it's a blood sacrifice. And what I mean by blood sacrifice, like a George Floyd or a Eric Garner or a Philando Castile, that's what I mean by blood sacrifice. That's the only time we want to code up, instead of coding up like this constantly. Why do we have to wait somebody to pass away in a horrible way to be lynched before we do something? That's the part that I'm sick and tired of seeing. We should be doing this automatically. When we see stuff like this, that we're being targeted in Louisville, then we should be reacting real quick. Okay, you're going to keep targeting us? Okay, cool. Well, you know what? We're not going to spend a dime in Louisville no more. We're going to the next city until you get rid of all these racist policies these police are doing. We're going to hurt you in the pocketbook. That's how we're going to get you. You're going to do something, but people, unfortunately, not willing to make those sacrifices to drive to the next city or do things like that. People going to, even the comment section, going to make excuses by what I said. They're going to come up with 100 different things. So that's why, these people continue to get away with things like this. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about, the situation that's going on in Louisville, brothers and sisters. You're definitely that live on that side of town. And make sure to read that again on the West End neighborhood. Be careful. These race soldiers are out there targeting you.